How does emulsification work? So it has one of these things. Okay. What does amphiphilic mean? It likes water and fats, right? And so this part here doesn't like water. It's hydrophobic, right? And this guy is philic, which means he likes it. Is this too fast for anyone? Is anybody? Is this confusing anyone? Do you guys even want to do this? Do you guys want something else? Is this a good review? I don't want to waste your time.
It's good.
It's good? Okay. So this is going to come down. So this is there's tons of this in bile, tons of that, right? And so here's basically your poop or your chyme, right? Now let's say you have a big old fat chunk right here, right? So how does this affect that?
Sticks his tail in it.
Yeah, he sticks his little tail in it. And then he swims away, right? And he rips a little chunk off. And a bunch of these guys come and rip a bunch of chunks off the fat. This is called emulsification. And we're breaking down fats like that, right? And so when you're squeezing like through your peristalsis going like this with all of this chyme and all of this now bile, that's what it's doing, right? It's pulling this apart. So you get this guy, you get this with a little fat chunk on it, right? Then what happens? Lipase comes and does what? Yeah, and then lipase. So sounds like a lipid, your fat, and then ACE is an enzyme. So on the test, if it ends in an ACE, it's an enzyme. It's probably not an endocrine anything because it's not going to go in the blood. If that helps you at all. Okay. So lipase comes and breaks them down even more. We're going to get these little guys called what? Triglycerides, right? So we get these triglycerides, and then they're going to go where?
Inside cell membrane.
What is this cell called? Enterocyte.
Yeah.
Okay. We get an enterocyte. And so what does an enterocyte do? We got this guy with a bunch of little things on it. My fat molecule with all my amphiphilic things on
It
it.
takes the glycerol off of the. There's 3 chains off of the glycerol.
Yeah, so it chops that off, right? And then we just got a bunch of these little guys.
And that's inside the enterocyte?
These enzymes are kind of like this. It's like a little film on here.
Okay.
So as it hits the wall and it goes through endocytosis, it kind of just goes and gets cut up even more. Okay, so now you just got a little piece of lipid right here. Which lipid just means fat, right? So here's your lipid. Okay. And then what happens? He gets a bunch of
Proteins around it.
proteins on him. And what are why does it need proteins?
Because
It's hydrophobic.
Where's it going to? The lymphatic system. So it bypasses this blood and goes to the.
Lymphatic system.
So this right here is the lymphatic system, or the lymphatic vessels, and this is the blood, the red one. Okay. So it goes to the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system carries it to the
Subclavian vein.
the subclavians, right? The veins, and that puts in the blood. And when the blood, we have a lot of water, and fat doesn't like water, so it would repel the water and move around until it found some more fat to try and hide, and then it finds some more fat to hide, and then it form what? A fat clumps, yeah. And clumps are bad because then these big clumps go to smaller capillaries and clog capillaries, and then stop blood flow and tissue dies. So it's called a fat embolism. Okay, and so then this moves into here, and then the lymphatic system carries into the blood. And what is this called now that it has proteins on it? We'll call it anyone know? Chylomicron. Sorry. Chylomicron. Are these very dense proteins or are they very low dense proteins? How did I remember? That's a legit question.
I think they're LDLs.
I'm pretty sure that they're very, very low. I'm pretty sure they're super, super low. Like they don't have much on them at all. So I'm pretty sure they're they're kind of like, aren't they the lowest density ones you have in your body? Was that one of your quick questions? I think you said that. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're really low density ones. Okay. And so they're gonna come up and then they go to where? They meet up with this is the longest sidetrack they ever had.
Liver.
Sorry. VLDLs, right? So the liver spits out some very low density lipids, right? And so very low density lipids, VLDLs, and chylomicrons kind of come together, and then we rip off what? We rip off the, I'm trying to think what it was. All that's left, we remove everything besides the cholesterol, right? So we rip off this cholesterol. Is that right? Am I teaching this right? Your notes on that.
Are you talking about what you
Nothing
talked about
for today, yeah.
Yeah.
So they go and they turn into triglycerides. Yeah, they turn into triglycerides and leave the cholesterol behind, right? Okay, there we go. So they get stripped. So they're full of cholesterol and they're full of proteins, they're full of lipids, right? Not really a lot of lipids because they're very low density. So it comes up and rips off the cholesterol and allows the lipids to keep going, which then form a triglyceride. And then this just goes to the body. And we use it to make cell membranes. We use it in a lot of things, right? We always had like the biophospholipid membrane layer we talked about 264. And then we got cholesterol left behind. Where does he go?
Cholesterol goes into the cell membrane to make it
More structured.
yeah.
But before then, where does it go? Right from here, it goes to the liver, and the liver turns it into an LDL. Is this correct? Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, just making sure it does right. And the LDLs leave, and so the LDLs are basically what? Cholesterol, right? Because cholesterol got ripped off of my chylomicron and my very low density lipid protein, and it came over here and it turned into triglycerides. So I took the fat away and I took my cholesterol and I put it in the liver and I put some proteins on it and I call it a low density lipid protein, and it's basically just a bunch of cholesterol. So that's why they say LDLs are cholesterol and they're really bad for you, because then LDLs go in the body, and if you have too many LDLs, you need some, but if you have too many LDLs, you don't use them all, and then they get built up and they start building up in the arteries. They make plaque, they ruin the walls of your arteries, right? And then, what else do we do? We got some HDLs, right? How do we make HDLs? The liver, right? And so, where do they come from in that picture?
The liver.
The liver, just HDLs leave.
Yeah, they just leave and go to the body. And come back.
And so these guys actually come and grab cholesterol, or these low LDLs, and bring them back to the liver. And so you want high HDLs because it removes cholesterol from your blood, but LDLs add cholesterol to the blood.